Okay, I'm going to do two examples in 6.2. The first one I'm going to do is example 1. But before I do that, I want to point out a couple things. If you remember, here's our formula for finding z-score, but now we're dealing with populations, where we have a population mean mu, population standard deviation sigma. So the mean height of men, 68.6 inches, standard deviation 2.8 inches. We want to find the percent that would be taller than 72 inches. So it becomes this problem. I put my mu in here, which is 68.6 inches, because it orients me on my graph, because this is my analysis. I'm drawing a picture to analyze this, which is what I expect you to do as well. So what I do is now I go out here and I go, okay, 72 is here. And I go, I want the percent taller, so I want to the right. But really what I'm looking for is that area. So really what I need to do is convert this to z. So I want this z-score. Once I have the z-score, then I can find the area that I want. So let's find z. We just plug it in, everything we know. Our x is now our individual person, 72. Subtract the mean, divide by standard deviation. So I get a z-score of 1.21. Well, I'm going to force you to be lazy and use symmetry. I'm going to go here. I get negative 1.21, and I'm going to find that area. So now I'm using the negative z-scores. Negative 1.21, I got 0.1131. That's the same there, or the same there. So my answer then, the percentage of men that would be taller than 72 inches, which is 6 foot, 11.3%. Okay, now I'm going to do example 3, which goes in the opposite direction. We're going to design an aircraft cockpit. So basically now we're going to work with women. So I need my statistics for the population. The mean height of women, 63.7 inches, standard deviation of 2.9 inches. And so we're designing an aircraft cockpit that would fit 95% of women. So now what I'm doing here is I put my 63.7 in here. Now I don't know the x out here, but I know it's going to be bigger than this. That's the height that's going to fit my 95% of women. So what I do know is that the area to the left here is 0.95. So I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to find the z-score, and then I'm going to plug in z. I know this and this. I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to let you find that z-score in practice. It's 1.645. 1.65. This is a special critical z-score. Notice that it falls between two values, 1.64 and 1.65. There's a dot on the chart. So now that I've got that z-score, I plug it in here. I know my mean is 63.7. I divide by 2.9. Now I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to multiply both sides here. I'm going to add the 63.7. I'm going to find my x. That's the height of women that will, or that can fit in the cockpit, at least about 95% of them. Which is 68 point, I'll round it to 2 inches. So that's my height here. That fits 95% of women in the cockpit.